Okay, pretty big update here on Monday for the injuries at Georgia, specifically Jalen Carter. This is what Kirby told reporters on Monday. I'll cut to the chase. He said Jalen is going to be a week or two, talking about out. Not sure. It's an MCL like we expected. We don't know how long it's going to be, but it doesn't look good for this week. After the game, when we were in Missouri, um, Kirby suspected it was an MCL, so they may have already sort of known that that's what it was. I'm on the field for all these games, and I did not see that immediately. I don't it really. I remember him leaving, of course, but even then, he kind of was walking on his own power, as I recall. But they must have kind of known quickly, Georgia, that that was what. Well, they must have suspected it pretty fast. But he went on to say, and then let me just add this real quick. I don't. I watched the replay of that, and it's hard to see how you don't call. I mean, that seemed pretty obvious as a chop block, and it's first of all very dangerous. Um, it's an illegal play in college football to have a person engaged at the top, excuse me, a defensive lineman engaged with an offensive lineman at the top, and then another offensive lineman take out the person's below their waist, and that's a dangerous play. Now, the explanation from the official that Kirby repeated was this. He said, I talked to the official during the play. He felt comfortable about what the play was. We talked about it before the game. Missouri has a lot of backside cuts. Auburn, a lot of teams use the same methods. I'm hopeful we can keep our players safe, do what's in within the limits of the game and the rules, but that's not for me to decide. Well, here, I'll translate for you. He does not like an illegal play on his guys, and that was an illegal play. I mean, I think they missed a targeting call or two as well. Now, this isn't, I mean, it's irrelevant. The game turned out the way, it would have turned out anyway, because the plays I'm talking about were on Missouri. But I don't, you know, I don't know if that's being taught. I don't think teams are teaching chop blocks. Cut blocks are a different situation, and that's what it seemed like the Missouri player who went low was trying to do. He did not know that. I don't know if he knew. Okay, what was going on, but it didn't seem like that. But the result of the thing was that now Georgia's going to be without their best defensive lineman for probably for 2 games. It seems to me. I mean, I don't see why you would get Jalen back for the Vanderbilt game. You essentially now he has about 4 weeks before Georgia plays the Gators, and it's a big moment for this program to see the younger guys step up. Make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION down below. A lot of y'all are still buying these, and we appreciate it. It's a great way to support our site and our channel here on YouTube. Make sure you're clicking the link down below to pick that up. If you want me to sign it for you, I'll do that. That's great. But you need to let me know immediately so that I can get that in the mail to you. I turn these around very fast. The other injury, there were a couple of other guys. Smile Munden, I did not realize that he had gotten back out there as quickly as he did, but he seems good to go for the coming weeks. But Georgia is a banged up team right now. There is no doubt about that. And then here's what Kirby had to say about A.D. Mitchell possibly coming back. Now, keep in mind that A.D. was dressed out during the game. So I can't remember if he was taking snaps. Excuse me, if he was warming up. I feel like he was. And also Eric Gilbert was out there at Missouri too, but he was not dressed out. So here's what Kirby had to say about A.D. Mitchell, a guy that they really do need to get going. He said A.D. is hopeful again. He was close to being able to play, we thought, last week. We took him with us. We took him with the intention of seeing if he could go. Pre-game thought he looked pretty good, but didn't feel comfortable putting him out there. We are hopeful he's able to this week. We don't know until we go out there and get closer to the game. He's much closer this week than he was last week. Getting Arian Smith back helped with that. All the reps the freshmen got help. Got to continue to get those guys better. Right now, Georgia, well, really the Missouri game, I would say more than right now, because now they've gone through the Missouri game and now we're closer to the Auburn game. Georgia is pretty inexperienced compared to where they want to be at receiver. When you start losing really one of your major threats in Mitchell, the guy that made a great play against Alabama to put Georgia back on top in the national championship game. That's something we talk about in DAWGSTRUCTION right here. It's a great image of AD. But anyway, it's not just AD, Arian Smith as well, who played against Missouri last year and had a great catch, but then got injured, I think, on that play. So this is a Georgia team that, if we're really going to, judge them and where they're at and where they should be, you would like to have all the ingredients in there. There's the image of AD Mitchell. So I just Arian played. I don't feel like he played. He didn't make a huge impact on the game. I think if Mitchell gets out there, that can change things offensively. Georgia, Mitchell went out at the beginning of the Kent State game. Smith has not been back in there at that. He was not in there at that time. So you've seen Blaylock start to step up, but really Mitchell is a different type of receiver than Ladd McConkey. He's a different type of receiver than Blaylock. And Georgia seems to have missed A.D. Mitchell since he's been gone. That's just all there is to it. So getting him back out there will make the receivers look more threatening. This Auburn team, they do play hard. They play hard. They just, they've got some issues, generally speaking, and Georgia should be able to take advantage of that. The LSU Auburn game was just a lot of messy play, missed assignments, blown coverages by both teams. And Georgia and Tennessee will make those teams pay if that continues on Saturday. But you're not going to have Jalen Carter. He's not going to be out there. I thought, though, Georgia played certainly in the second half. Georgia played well in the second half, period. Special teams, defense definitely really played well. Offense played well. Georgia played well in the second half. If they can replicate the way that they did against Missouri, honestly, they would probably win the national championship. I mean, the way they played in that second half was, outstanding. But you did not have Jalen Carter at that time. So guys like Warren Brinson, Zion Logue, they're going to have to continue. Bill Norton's going to be getting some, just like he did, I think it was against Kent State, but there's going to be, without Jalen out there, you're going to need Ingram Dawkins, Stackhouse, Logue, Brinson, guys who are not household names for NFL first round draft picks. They're going to have to be the guys that develop and step up right now. You don't have one of your major parts, but it's a great opportunity for Warren Brinson, who at minimum, made 2 plays that I recall, shooting through the line and getting the job done. This is, looking at the film or the TV copy, that could have been a lot worse than it turned out to be for Jalen Carter. And it was a foul. I don't know why a penalty flag was not thrown there. That was not good officiating. I don't know if I'm not sure if I understand how the role of the replay works there. It's not targeting, so I don't know how. I'm ignorant on that front, but they definitely missed that call. And the call is one thing. I think the injury is another, because the call is one play of 120 in a game. I mean, the missing him for another 240 plays, in theory, that hurts. Because Jalen's had a tough year so far with the ankle at the start, now in MCL. I am hardly qualified to say, but I would want him rested for the run that is going to be the close of this season. This is going to be an exciting run at the end of the year, and you want your arguably best player to be in there, and they will not have him this weekend. But that's the update from Athens for the Dogs and their injuries.